y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all, welcome back. Y'all, I'm super excited to talk to y'all. Number one, I love y'all. Houston, I love you in my Beyonce voice. I love y'all, okay? Because I scheduled this live for lunchtime, and then something came up around lunchtime. And then I had to reschedule on y'all. I didn't have to reschedule an hour. I had to reschedule like 5 hours later. So shout out to y'all for, not only watching my videos, liking, comment, subscribing, blah, 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 all that good stuff. But y'all actually come back, okay? Even when stuff has to change. So, like I said, my live squad is my favorite squad, no lie. I mean, I love all y'all, but the live squad, y'all be here for the girl, okay? Because just last week, I was talking on mute for a whole 3 minutes, and y'all was gonna stand by my side. And I had to go edit the video. So shout out to y'all, okay? Today, we are about to talk about Married at First Sight. At this point, y'all, I've stopped keeping up with what number episode this is because I felt like I've had more important titles that we need to get to. So the title of this video today, if you can't see for yourself, is Bao. You've already proved you're a good person. Now let this man go, okay? So last week, I told y'all whose fault is it anyway? And I told y'all it was Bao's fault. But now I'm looking at myself just going, it's a combination. It's a mixture, okay? I feel like this season of Married at First Sight, they have gone OD with the editing, trying to confuse us so that way they can create some entertainment, because I felt like they already anticipated larger viewership based on Chris and Paige wild asses last season. So they needed to do something to keep people's interest peaked. So what they've been doing is editing, y'all, like they always do. Okay. It's a reality show. They always edit, number one. But they've been doing a lot of manipulation with the perceptions. Okay. So my ideas are going to change, or my opinions will change video to video. But overall, y'all, I think I have a pretty good gist on who these people are or who they present themselves as on these TV shows. Okay. So before we get into the review, y'all, let me go ahead and say what's up to those of y'all who are here already. So Alicia, of course, I'll get to most of y'all. Julia, 4 months, hashtag Necey Hive. Shout out to you, Julia. We be in them Twitter DMs hard. Berta, Mina, Danielle, hey girl, Kenya, hey Fave, Jay Antoinette with the new profile pic, looking cute. Okay, natural hair. It's J Dub, okay? Y'all check out J Dub's channel. I just got done watching his video. Love his point of view. And plus the ladies be obsessed with him. They be like, oh my gosh, if I stare into your eyes for a little bit longer, I'll be like, y'all, okay. You gonna have a cult following. Watch. Veronica, Brittany J, Six Figure Sister. Come on, y'all. Okay, so one more thing, y'all. Monique, shout out to Monique Simone. I see all my regulars in here, okay? So appreciate y'all for saying hey. One more thing, y'all. We are almost to 8,000, okay? I know I've been saying 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 because I can't wait to be at the double digit squad. I mean, y'all, honestly, subscribers, it's just a good thing, y'all. Honestly, views are what pays and pushes your videos. But subscribers, I just feel like that's a way to say, like, hey, I really fool with you. So if y'all are not subscribed and y'all really fool with me, go ahead, drop down here, subscribe so we can go ahead and see 8 pretty soon. So now, y'all, one more announcement, just one. Today is Thursday. Like I say, every single Thursday, it is Ooh Ladies First Panel Day, which is Thursday. So there's me, Bondi, Jamie, and Jaylee's Corner. Tonight, we are going to be on Jamie That's Me's channel at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So after me and you have this conversation, we got a quick little break, y'all, go work out, because I've been on my workout stuff, y'all, because I told you my birthday coming up, 11/11. Go work out. You got a little break. Cook you something to eat, have a good drink, and then meet me back on Jamie That's Me's channel. If you cannot find her channel, no worries, y'all. I will share the link to the video on my community wall. So we're going to talk Married at First Sight here, and then we're going to talk about some other things on Jamie's channel. So we're about 5 minutes and 45 seconds in. So for those of y'all who are watching this on replay game, I hope somebody commented when the video actually starts. Because like I like to say, I'm talking to my friends at the beginning of this video, and I got to have small talk with y'all before I go ahead and get into this video. So for those of you who just want to hear the review, click on through. This ain't for you, okay? So, all right, friends, we can now go ahead and get into Married at First Sight. This should be a pretty simple review. I was shocked that they filled 2 hours of content of Johnny looking like an ass. Johnny was looking like an ass. Oh my gosh. I was thoroughly embarrassed for myself because last week I was like, y'all, bow. Johnny's cool. Johnny's a nice guy. Johnny might be OCD, but Johnny seems cool. Bow stuck up. And then it's like, I really didn't know what was coming. He definitely did look like he was going through something. We should have known, y'all. Johnny's been on over 100 first dates. He can't exactly be the normal one in this situation, y'all. Like, it has to be something wrong with this man. And I should have known. So let's go ahead and get all of the lightweight couples out of the way. So the first couple who I want to go ahead and talk about is Miss Mirla and Gil. So what we see from them at the beginning of the episode is they are having some apartment conversations. They're at the apartment. Y'all know all the couples are staying at the apartment that Married at First Sight has rented for them. They're skyrise apartments. And to me, I didn't think that they were that much nicer than previous seasons' apartments. But I know a lot of people did. I thought it was nice, but I'm just like, I'm not saying it's not nice. What I'm saying is it didn't seem any different than the typical apartments that they put the couples in season over season. So anyway, they're in the apartment and Gil and Mirla are already talking about where they're going to stay at. Mirla is joking with Gil like, nah, you need to re-sign your lease. And typically, y'all, if Johnny hadn't showed his ass, Married at First Sight probably would have snipped where Mirla told Gil to renew his lease and showed it to us as if she was saying she didn't want to be with him. But I'm like, okay, y'all left this in here. So anyway, they're looking for places to stay together. So it seems like we know that they're going to stay together after the 8 weeks, because I can't believe that not only are they having conversations with each other about where they're going to live, but Mirla's having serious conversation with her girlfriends about where they're going to live. So that's how you know it's real, because it's not like she's afraid to say that she can't be with him. It's not like she's afraid to say that she doesn't want to live with him and then going and telling her friends something different. So it seems like she likes him, y'all. This episode, she was talking about wiping drool from the dog's mouth. So when she said that, I was like, are you a dog mom now? Do you love this man? Tell me what y'all think, okay? Do y'all think Mirla is slowly falling in love with this man? Because she really was about to wipe the slobber off that dog's mouth. I think you love that man, and I think you love his dog. So anyway, Gil was complaining about the nice apartment that they were staying in. He was like, we really don't even have to stay here. I don't like the high rises and the garages that go loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop. I don't like being all high in the sky or even a mid-rise. He likes the apartments where it's only two levels to it, is what I was getting. He doesn't like all that extraness. Now, he has every right to not like that. But what I got from the situation was, Gil, if you can't afford to stay there, just say that. You ain't got to tell us that you don't like nice things. Everybody likes nice things, okay? But everybody also knows what they can afford. So Gil, if you can't afford to stay there, just say that. So now, y'all, he starts telling Mirla, well, I know exactly what you like in an apartment because you like super nice things. You want a new phone, this, that, and the third. Mirla said her phone was 2 years old. I don't think this makes her bougie because, like y'all know, you get a new iPhone. 2 years later, they done came out with at least 3 iPhones, and all of a sudden yours start going slow. I feel like they have expiration dates. So for Mirla to say she want a new phone, like, y'all, she's not bougie. Gil is cheap. Yes, Keisha, Gil is cheap. That's all. So Now, let's go ahead and talk about Mirla. She meets with her friend on FaceTime. They don't meet up in person, and Mirla's in the bedroom talking about Gil. Pretty much the same apartment conversation that we get at the beginning. But what took me out was Mirla's friend said to her, "So, what is it like living with a frugal person?" That was her way of saying, "What is it like to be living with the daddy from Everybody Hates Chris? What is it like to be with a man who's cheap?" Like, that's exactly what I was getting. And Marilyn surprised me because she said that Gil was right and he was frugal in the right area. Sid, I want to call out this comment. This is a good comment right here. Sid says, "I feel like Gil doesn't like high rises because he's a firefighter." Yes, I agree with that. But I also think he tries to play like he doesn't like nice things when everybody likes nice things. Just say you can't afford it. That's the other thing. So, anyway, Mirla took me by surprise when she was having a conversation with her friend, and she said that she feels like Gil is frugal in the right areas. So I'm like, wow, we have watched an entire season of them making it seem like it was such a big deal that Gil was frugal and Mirla liked to live a life of luxury, when at the end of the day, she sees no issue. So I'm like, look at the editing that I'm talking about. Anyway, she also tells her friend that Gil is looking for an apartment for them. So she's letting it be known, not only to Gil, but to her friend, that they're planning to live together after this. So we may be getting yeses. And I told y'all at the beginning of reviewing this series, the streets were saying that Mirla was actually selling this dress that y'all see her wearing right here. It was a $10,000 Berta Couture wedding gown. So people were thinking that that meant that they were divorced. But to me, I thought it was a possibility that she may have saw good value in the money that for that dress that she's probably never going to wear again. So I felt like that could have been a sign that they stayed together, because his money saving ways may have influenced her to do that. So now, y'all, the other scene we get with them is Gil meets up with his friend, y'all. And this is his friend who is funny as hell. When I seen him come back on screen, I was so excited because he was hilarious. This is the same friend who was at the wedding, and he was like, "So is y'all fucking or not? Is y'all gonna have sex or not?" He said something like in a very vulgar way, but it was very Southern. You know, like it's something about Southern men that have that draw, and it's like they can say things that's vulgar, but it still doesn't sound like, I don't know. Y'all tell me if it's just me. But to me, I feel like it's something about Southern men and the draw and the way they talk, and they can say things that's coming off like, but then you're like, what did you just say? It sounded like it wasn't that bad, but what you said was inappropriate. Anyway, that might just be me. So his friend is back and he is talking, and he said, "Do you see any flags? You see any red, orange, yellow flags?" And he says, "Not really, other than the fact that Mirla can have tantrums when she doesn't get her way," which we already know that, which he's already discussed with Mirla. Now, his friend asked, "Have y'all had sex yet? Have y'all consummated the marriage?" This time, he's a little bit more appropriate. And Gil says, "No, there's no rush. There's no rush." But things changed like really fast, y'all. Mirla is so low key, so private that we would never find out if Mirla and Gil had sex on this show. I feel like at this point in time, they probably already have had sex, because the amount of time that she waited to kiss him, I feel like you waited so long to trust him that you probably trusted him enough for y'all to actually have sex. Like, ain't no way you gonna wait. How many weeks is it at this point, y'all? I think it's been 4 weeks. I think they're at the halfway mark, officially 4 or 5 weeks. You wait 4 or 5 weeks to kiss your husband who you sleep in the bed with every night. You're not gonna tell me that you're gonna wait another 4 weeks to have sex with him when he already has passed the test just to get a kiss. Girl, I really hope you're having sex with your husband. And I'm not mad at you for telling us, because I know you want to be all classy based. I ain't mad at you. I hope you're having sex with your husband. So I think Gil was on TV lying. His response was just so short, so unproblematic. Like, don't ask me nothing else about it. No, it's no problem. It's no rush. I think they're having sex, and I think that's why all of a sudden we see them in this lovey-dovey stage, and she really, really trusts him. So now, y'all, let's move on to Rachel and Jose. Halfway mark prediction. I'm going to do this with every couple, as long as y'all remind me, okay? Halfway mark prediction, Mirla and Gil will stay married. Rachel and Jose. I felt like they got a decent amount of screen time, but honestly, y'all, I don't have that many notes on Rachel and Jose. I don't know if it's because like there was no drama with them, or if it was because it was just the same old, same old. So y'all help me out in the comment section. I don't think I missed anything at all. So, what we see is they're in the kitchen. Rachel is telling us that she don't like to cook. This girl does not even like to cook eggs. She likes microwaved eggs. I am disgusted. Rachel, eggs are like the easiest thing to cook. Please take your eggs out the microwave and cook them on the stove for about 30 seconds like a normal person. So, anyway, they make a cute little breakfast. It actually looks good. She decided to cook as long as Jose washed the dishes. So now all of a sudden Jose is open to, teamwork, make the dream work. I feel like he's still on his best behavior because he knows that he showed his ass a couple weeks ago. But y'all know his controlling nature is going to make its way back up. So they're eating breakfast. They're having conversations about things that they're looking forward to as a married couple should they go past the 8 weeks. Rachel on her end says that she's back on this Europe trip. She can't wait to experience Europe for the first time with her husband, yada, yada, yada. Meanwhile, Jose is like, let's just take a road trip around Texas. There's so many different parts around Texas, hills, and this and what? San Antonio, y'all, trust me, nobody wants to go on a trip through a state where they already live. My daddy used to do that stuff, okay? Y'all, I have 3 siblings, so we were a family of 6 total with my parents. Y'all don't understand how many times we went to the Alamo in San Antonio. Ultimately, until it got to the point to where I was like, I do not want to go to the Alamo in San Antonio. We learned about it in school. My daddy was very frugal. I'm like, I'm good on it. Okay. He would stop and read all the signs. We're good. We're good. So that's what Jose reminded me of in this moment. We've seen it all. Take this girl to Europe. You have the money. Y'all, he's a mission flight specialist or something like that. Save the money. Goodness, okay? That is not a vacation. Texas Hill Country is not a vacation. Staying in a cabin in East Texas is not a vacation. So, whatever. Y'all can definitely do both things. Don't forget the battleship. Come on. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to see the Alamo anymore. So they go to the winery and they start talking about their future. And that's where Rachel says that in the past, she wouldn't take things in relationships and yada, yada, yada. Y'all, honestly, I don't think she was really saying anything. She told him to brace himself for something. But in my opinion, Rachel's not leaving. Like her friend said, Rachel compromises in relationships. Rachel is going to mold herself to make it work as long as Jose wants to make it work. And like I told y'all, I don't know about Jose. I am still not convinced that he exclusively likes women. I'm convinced that he came on this show because it would be easy to find a wife where he typically cannot find a wife easy. I mean, let's imagine this, okay? Let's say you want to have the perfect image. You have this obsession with perfection. So you would just like to sign up for a wife. You're not really interested in dating around and getting to know all these different women, which is probably why you was in that one relationship for 4 years. And then you said that you weren't in love because she had kids, which you knew she had kids for the whole 4 years you were with her. It sounds to me like he just wants a commitment to a woman, but not necessarily a relationship. Because that's weird. Who's staying in a relationship for 4 years? Your issue is that she has kids, but she had kids when you got with her. So you find it best to just sign up for a wife who has all the qualities that you need. Anyway, sounds to me like these two are definitely going to make it. They're not getting a divorce. And they're both committed. Rachel just wants somebody. Jose wants a wife. So that's that on that. I don't think that anything else happened with Rachel and Jose. So now, y'all, let's move on to Michaela and Zach. We can talk about Michaela and Zach, okay? Let's go. It's J up and long distance. Beard. Say it again, okay? So now Michaela and Zach, y'all. This episode, these two were way less problematic than they usually are. These two were in La La Land this episode. But remember, y'all, last episode, they just finished knocking the boots, okay? They're back to where they were. They keep saying, I just want to go back to this day. I just want to go back to happy Zach. You only knew Zach for a good 24 hours, and those are the happiest moments of y'all's relationship. And that's what I keep hearing. So now that y'all have recreated that at the 1 month mark of your anniversary by going back to hotel room, having sex again, getting out all your frustration, and then moving forward, now y'all are back in this place of, oh my gosh, we can make it work. We can reset. Oh my gosh. It's not going to last long. Y'all know it ain't gonna last long. Yes, I'm tired of them. Okay. So Michaela and Zach, they go on a date to this indoor soccer field, and they call it bubble ball. So you get inside these balls of bubbles, it's huge, and you run up to each other and try to knock the other person over. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, last night I started Googling some of these dates so I can see if there was a place near me that was like that. I would love to go on a bubble ball date. So they do the bubble ball date. Michaela loses. Zach ends up saying, since you lost, you have to do a dance for me in the bubble. And I feel like he was just asking her to dance to make up for her not dancing at the salsa class or whatever. So she decides to Dougie. Michaela cannot Dougie. And I know she was in a bubble, but I could tell it's something about you got to get the leg work, okay? They be jigging real hard down here, and you could tell by Michaela's knees that she was not moving a thing. So she can't Dougie. Now, they're having conversations about the best moments in their relationship. And like I told y'all, the best moments in their relationship seem to be all within week 1, all within the time in which you barely knew him. Michaela's favorite moment was at the wedding when he was dancing in front of her. So you had known him for about 5 minutes. That was the best moment in y'all's relationship. Let's be real. The peen was probably the best moment in y'all's relationship, which is what y'all trying to hold on for. Okay. So as far as that, the best moment in the relationship for him was whenever he got out of quarantine and went to her house and surprised her, and he was really happy to be back with her. Even though days had passed, y'all, this was still within, if you total all the time together, less than maybe 2 or 3 days of them actually being together. So it's a shame that y'all keep saying those are the best moments in your relationship. And that's because y'all were living in a fantasy at that time. Now, everything that y'all are experiencing is reality. Y'all just want to continue to go back to this fantasy. And whenever y'all hit reality, y'all both start going at each other. Michaela can't handle her emotions. Zach can't handle his emotions either. Let's be real. He just likes to play victim. You don't know how bad I wanted this. I just worked so hard at this. Zach, that's why I think it's very fun. I ain't gonna say that, but I was gonna say a rumor, okay? But I know some of y'all don't like to hear rumors about the show until after the show's over. But anyway, I find Zach and Johnny to be extremely similar people because from the surface, you would assume that each of them had no issues like finding a wife. Johnny makes money. Johnny's outgoing. He's very clean. Zach. Zach is handsome. He's a nice looking dude. He seems to be mild-tempered, but I really feel like they're essentially the same person. Y'all both have these outbursts. Y'all really do. And y'all keep living in this fantasy, which makes perfect sense as to why y'all signed up for this show. You thought that you were going to get a wife in a box. You thought that you were going to get a wife who would check off all your boxes and was not human. So, in my opinion, I think that Zach and Johnny are extremely similar. I'm about to go ahead and let y'all know what the rumor is. So, if you don't want to hear it, please go ahead and mute in 3 and 2 and 1. So, y'all, the rumor that I've been hearing is that Bao and Zach are actually together, actually like a couple. And at first, I thought the rumor was a trip, but I've been seeing plenty of pictures of just them two together, like out in the club, like Bao with Zach and his brothers. Like, what's going on? So that's why I'm saying I think it's hilarious that allegedly Bao and Zach are dating. Because in my opinion, I feel like Zach and Johnny are the same person. And if y'all want to see more information on that, go to the MAFS fan Instagram, Married at First Sight fan Instagram, but it's just spelled MAFS fan. Married at First Sight fan Instagram. They posted pictures to the story, and these were like pictures by bystanders, pictures of them at dinner, pictures of them in the club. Very weird. So y'all go check that out. But anyway, I think it's really funny because in my opinion, I feel like Johnny and Zach are the exact same person. So 3, 2, 1. If y'all can come on back for those of y'all who didn't want to hear the rumor, but y'all can come on back. So yeah, Michaela meets up with her sister, and she explains to her sister that marriage has been challenging. They've been through their ups and downs. She's so happy she can't keep her mouth closed because the pain just hit like that. And she's thinking that he actually wants to work on the relationship. So she's talking to her sister, and she's just talking about how much she's grown, the highs and lows, blah, blah, blah. Her sister says that she knew that in the past, Michaela had a history of outbursts, not really being able to communicate or handle her emotions. And now she's seeing so much growth in her sister that she hasn't really seen in years and only a couple weeks. And she says to her sister that she actually already loves Zach. So I feel like Michaela was not being 100% transparent. Well, let me take that back. I think Michaela was only expressing what she thinks is reality not right now, not exactly what's going on. Michaela thinks that marriage has had all these ups and downs, that they're in an amazing place right now. Y'all aren't, okay? The majority of y'all's marriage has been extremely combative. You two are not compatible. Only because y'all have been good for 2 days, you're telling your sister that y'all are back on a high. And I feel like all of a sudden you love him because y'all are getting to the halfway point of this show and you really want a husband. You think Zach is handsome. You're literally obsessed with his face. You like him a lot. So I feel like I love you is just one of them last minute, oh, you leaving? Oh, throw the bait. Reel him in. I think she thought that by saying she loved him, she would reel it in. So what she's expressing to her sister is really just her perception. And to me, it doesn't seem like it's reality. So now, y'all, they're at home, Michaela and Zach, and they do this like scrapbook poem thing. Michaela writes this really cute poem talking about everything she loved about Zach. She loved his face and all this extra stuff, right? Zach, he took the more joking route. We get somebody who does this every single season. And he says in his poem, still loving you all day and night. Michaela takes this single line, still loving you all day and all night, and she considers it as a form of I love you, or a form, yeah, she considers it as a form of I love you. And she says in her confessional to the camera that that was the first time that she had really heard him say that he had those types of feelings towards her. And I was like, oh, child. I think Zach just chose words that sounded good together for that poem. And I don't think that he wanted you to take it as I love you. I think he wanted to take it as, you cool. You cool. You real cool, I care about you. I think that's what he was trying to say. And she was grinning from ear to ear, thinking that it was a form of I love you. And it's absolutely not. And I think that's where we're going to see her blow up. Neither one of them love each other. Michaela just wants to use this love word because she thinks that that's enough effort to get them past the finish line. But nothing is going to make this man stay because much like Johnny, he has already made his decision that this is not the relationship for him. So now, y'all, let's go ahead and move on to Snooze Fest. And I feel bad because Brett is such a nice girl, but y'all are just so boring. So Brett and Ryan. Brett meets up with her friend and she's talking to the girl. This is the blonde haired girl, one of her friends who's already married. Um, and she says that things are different in their relationship. She thinks that the issue that they're having isn't just physical, there's no emotional connection there. And she says she craves emotional connection, which is why she's still holding out, trying to build that bond with him, but she feels like it's not going to happen for Ryan. So her friend suggests, in order to have a happy marriage, in order for y'all to get past this, y'all are going to have to communicate. Where Brett knows there's been zero communication because this dude, Ryan, is too afraid to tell her how he's really feeling. He's already tapped out. I think he doesn't want to look like an asshole. So a lot of these people get to the point, usually by the third week, they know if they're going to stay in this relationship or not. Brett, I told y'all, and I'm going to say it every time, I think he needed sex earlier on for him to feel more of a woo. But that's not to say that that same woo wouldn't have went away after they had sex. I just think that his needs were different than Brett's. They kept explaining that early on, and then eventually their relationship hit a plateau. It has always been on the plateau, to be real. So anyway, Ryan and Zach are in the gym. They're having conversations. Ooh, let me see this. Alicia, she says Ryan has the same emotionless face every episode. Y'all, if y'all go back to my first review, first review for this season, I told y'all that Ryan literally looked depressed. He looked like he didn't had a heavy ass life. We knew that his friend had just passed away. So it's something about Ryan to me that just feels extremely emotionally unavailable to anybody, which is why he's not finding anything to pique his interest with Brett. And I'm wondering if he's still depressed over the passing of his best friend, because that's what he came on the show talking like. He said that his friend was depressed and that he would date. And I felt like he was absolutely trying to fill a void. So I don't think that this is going to work at all. He wasn't ready. So now y'all, Ryan is talking to Zach. All he's saying is that it's not working and that he assumes that that Brett knows. I think it's so funny when you see the two kettles talking to each other, giving each other advice, the kettle and the pot, okay? What's his name? Zach is telling Ryan he just has to communicate how he feels about Brett. So, I mean, while he's right, I'm like, it's just so funny to see y'all like give each other advice and y'all all have your own issues in your relationships. So now, y'all, we see Ryan meet up with his sister, and this is when he literally took me out. He says that Brett is dirty. Then y'all know messy ass Lifetime starts showing us screenshots of the house, and yes, Brett is very messy, very dirty, clothes everywhere. And his sister says, well, would you feel the same way if you had a Victoria's Secret model in the house that was messy? And this is where he says he would happily wash her dishes if she was a Victoria's Secret model. And I honestly was offended. I was like, wow. So is definitely the physical for you. I feel like Ryan is absolutely unemotionally available, but I feel like a huge part of it with Brett is that he's not attracted to her at all, and he doesn't want to tell her that. And it's not like Brett is ugly. He doesn't think she's ugly. He just thinks she's average or not his type. So that's exactly what it is. Whenever he said if she was a Victoria's Secret model, I would be washing her dishes. Why would you sign up for the show? You don't want a wife. You don't want a wife. You should have stayed on them damn dating apps. You should have stayed on Hinge and whatever else everybody else is on, because it doesn't sound to me like you wanted to commit to someone who had flaws. That's a common theme with all of the men on this show. All of the men on the show come on as if their shit don't stink because they make good money. And then they expect to have these supermodel wives with no imperfections. And I'm like, really? Common thing. We see it with Zach. Zach is saying that he's trying so hard and that he wanted this relationship to work so bad, as if Michaela didn't. Both of y'all are flawed. Johnny, we ain't even got to his ass yet, okay? Jose, if you want to leave, then bounce. He can cuss his wife out because he makes six figures, huh? You think? And then Ryan, where I can't tell if you got muscle or if you got a dad bod. Because when Brett said that you were built like a superhero, I was just like, a retired superhero, you mean? What are you talking about? Like the superhero off SpongeBob, the two dudes, Barnacle Boy and whatchamacallit. That's very much what Ryan gives. No superhero to me. But a common thing with all of these men is they think that their shit does not stink. Please. What is going on with the vetting process for men? I know it's a struggle because there are so many women who want to be married, but not enough men who want to be married. Men say that they want to be married and have no idea of what commitment is. They sign up for Married at First Sight because they want a get married quick process, find the perfect woman for me process. Let me pay Hinge premium tier for you to just get me a wife who looks how I want her to look, who sex is how I want her to have sex with me, and everything else. So, dude, I can't with the dudes on these shows. Season after season, we have that issue. Season after season. So, anyway, he says to his sister that growing up at home, he's not used to having emotional conversations, which is probably why he is not emotionally available, coupled with him being depressed from losing his best friend. You cannot, fulfill that loss by just signing up for the show and thinking you're going to have a wife who's going to make you forget about all of the emotions that you weren't able to talk about as a child. So, again, Married at First Sight. I know y'all watch these reviews. Y'all need to require 8 weeks of individual counseling on top of, whatever you do whenever y'all put these couples on the show. I think y'all need to monitor their individual counseling, and then y'all can decide if they're truly ready to be married at first sight. But no, y'all have to have a theatrical element. Y'all have to have something to throw people off. So there's something wrong with everyone on this show. And someone always has to get the short end of the stick because this is reality TV. So now, y'all, they go on a double date. Rachel and Jose go on a double date with Ryan and Brett. It looked like it was fun, I guess. They come home from the date. And this is where I think it finally hit me for the first time that they hadn't been sleeping in the bed together. Y'all let me know if it was just me or if y'all had already picked up on that. I didn't know that they hadn't been sleeping in the same bed. And what was even more weird to me was that Ryan thought that it was better to sleep on the couch instead of sleeping in an entirely different room. So it's like he starts off telling her that he's not really feeling her, but then he backtracks and starts having a whole conversation about sleeping on the couch. And I'm like, what? And he's like, if I don't get any sleep, I'm not going to be a sane person and all this other stuff. So she's like, just go to sleep in one of the bedrooms. I'll go to sleep in the other bedroom. And that was it. And Brett is saying in her confessional, if you don't want to be with me, then just don't be with me. And the conversation was so cringe because I knew that Ryan was too nervous to tell her that he wasn't really feeling her. Brett knew it, but neither one of them wanted to call it out. I almost wanted Brett to be like, what's going on? If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. I wanted Brett to do that, but she allowed him to just sit there and talk about sleep. So I'm just like, y'all, come on. Okay. So now, y'all, we can go ahead and talk about the final couple. The final couple is Bao and Johnny. So, y'all, this episode starts out and Bao is doing the face cam, y'all. She's on the balcony having some coffee and she's talking to the camera and she says, well, I guess I'm just going to have to woo my husband. I'm going to have to romance my husband, blah, 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 blah. Hold on, y'all. I've been doing this review and I'm trying to, okay. I wanted to make sure my microphone was picking up everything and I wasn't using my laptop microphone. So anyway, Bao is again complaining about having to romance her husband, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, girl, shut up. But the longer I watched the episode, I was like, she was right. So they're at home. They're sitting at the dinner table, and pretty much what we find out is that Bao and Johnny have not talked about their disagreement. Danielle, I'm right there with you. She's annoying to me, so I can't hear anything that she says beyond her being annoying, and that's where my fault was, because she's annoying, and I can't hear anything outside of her being annoying, and coupled with the editing by Married at First Sight. So anyway, Bao and Johnny haven't talked about their disagreement at the restaurant last week. He says that he's just focused on moving forward. Hashtag reset. Bao is putting her all into it, and she says by the end of the 8 weeks, she doesn't see why she should say no. So she thinks that they're in a really good place. And this is the dynamic that we see all the time. We see the guy who thinks he's too good. We see him thinking that he's putting in maximum effort, and whenever he gets a girl that doesn't meet his imagination, there's an issue. Okay, so even when things really aren't good, and y'all high key just got into an embarrassing disagreement in front of people, even then, Bao is still not seeing a reason why she would say no at the end of the 8 weeks, because she is committed. It is so easy to find women on this show that's literally just committed to a marriage no matter what it is. Paige last season, which sometimes is to a fault. So I'm hoping that we don't see that with you, Bao. I think you need to decide when it is time to go. So anyway, she doesn't see why she should say no. So now, y'all, they're at dinner. Johnny is having a conversation. Him and his vein are talking to Bao, and he says, I just feel like I'm giving 150% and she's only doing 100. And she says, well, I feel like I'm giving 100% as well. I feel like I'm doing 150% too. He gets visibly angry. His face is red. He cringes. His vein is popping. I'm just like, really? Bao sitting there asking him, what are you getting so angry for? This is when they start talking about the cooking and stuff. And she feels like, I fold clothes, I do this. She's listing off her credentials, trying to prove to him that she's doing things that he's asking for. And I hate this so much. And it's just from like a male female perspective on the show. I hate it so much. Women often on this show feel like they have to prove themselves to men who signed up for the same shit you did. You're not any more overqualified than Bao, but the women always find the need to explain their credentials to the men. I did this, I did this, I did that. Tragic. So he says to Bao, I just want my wife to take initiative. And I'm like, what does he mean by initiative? It's something about Johnny, something that he's missing in his life, because he absolutely wants to be romanced. He absolutely wants to be flirted with. And it's like, why do you want to be? You're missing something. You want to be overly wanted. Like he told us, he wanted a stage 5 clinger, and you want a wife to fulfill anything that you felt in the past where you felt that you weren't enough. So I'm like, this is the 8 weeks of counseling, individual therapy that I'm asking y'all to give these, singles before they come on the show, because he would have worked out his childhood trauma and not try to project that on Bao. So instead of saying, he first says, I want my wife to take initiative. Then he goes from saying initiative, then to saying, I want my wife to initiate things for us to do together, working out, going on a date. And it's like, those are very simple things, Johnny. If all you want to do is spend extra time with Bao, that's not anything that will require a divorce. But he's not being 100% transparent with what it is he really wants. So is it that you want her to invite you places, or is it that you want her to initiate you in a bedroom with a whip and chain? What is it? Initiate or invite you places? He never clarifies. So now, y'all, Bao says we can do that. But like I said, y'all, Bao also feels the need for people to believe that she's a good person. So they can't just end the argument there. She says, we can do that, but I need you to give me my credit, essentially. She says, I do this, do that, do that. He still doesn't give her credit. He gets upset again because she's trying to prove herself. She's annoying. But in this situation, Johnny was all the way wrong. Bao literally laid there and allowed him to really talk down on her, talk down on anything in the relationship. And she took it like a G. She was just like, you know what? That's fine. We can do that. And I feel like everybody should have that same sort of, oh, when they go low, we go high. But y'all, I have literally a picture on my wall, and it's a tweet from Nina Parker. And it says, when they go low, I'm going to go medium because God is still working on me. Go medium, Bao. You don't have to go high every single time. Sometimes he deserves some of that medium low. Meet him where he at. If they go low, you go to hell. You meet them where they need to be met at. So I wish that you did that in this scene. So he leaves. He goes to another room. He returns and he says, I just don't think that we're compatible. And that's right. I said that videos ago. You all are not compatible. Bao ends up holding his hand. She says, I'm not leaving you. Look at me. I'm still standing here now holding your arm. She's thinking that this commitment and this reassurance is going to want him to stay. J-Dub, this is a good comment. Is J-Dub says Bao can't go medium. It's cultural. Okay. He's bringing up a really good point. It's cultural that she can't go medium. She's not going to fight back to that type of stuff. And for those of you who were listening to the rumor that I said earlier, sometimes I wonder if this is why the two of them, go back and hear the rumor that I mentioned, two co-stars of this show are currently dating. One of them supposedly is Bao. I wonder if this is why they're together, because he needs someone who culturally cannot go medium or low. Anyway, thank you for that comment, J-Dub. So anyway, she's still supporting him and she thinks that that's enough to want to make him stay. He's not going to want to stay because at this point he wants to get out of jail free card. So the next day, y'all, he went home. He's talking to the video camera. He said, I just decided to go home so we couldn't say anything that was too hurtful to the other one. Johnny, you were the only one talking shit. What are you talking about? We. That was definitely you. So anyway, he says that same day, Bao was supposed to go to the cookout to meet the rest of his family, but he had second guesses about her going. Meanwhile, Bao's at home talking to her video camera, and she's thinking like normal couples do. Y'all know, if y'all been in a relationship for a minute, there's been times where I have gone off on my fiance, and we will show up and be like, hey, and then after the party is over, we're like, hey, I love you. Bao was ready to do that. Bao was ready to get into that routine. And he ends up disinviting her from the cookout. And if that doesn't tell you what his plans are for the end of the 8 weeks, y'all know Johnny is not in this thing for real, for real. So not only does he disinvite her, but he down to the damn crawfish, he down to the damn cookout talking about his wife. Now, the other thing is, if y'all know, if he had any real feelings about Bao, if he had any hope in a future with Bao, he wouldn't have went to the cookout and talked shit about Bao before his family had even met her. You're already setting her up for destruction. That's a bad idea. So as soon as he did all this, I felt like he was pissing over everything only to say it was ruined so he could walk away from it. He literally was pissing over everything. He acted an ass at the dinner. He talked about her to his family. You literally did not want this relationship to work. So while he's talking shit about her and what he ends up saying at the cookout to his aunt, which to me I thought was disrespectful as hell, he says, it's like the more I find out about her, the less I like her. I was like, whoa. But, you know, Johnny, I kind of feel you on that, because the more I found out about Bao, the more I was like, I don't really like Bao. But at the same time, Johnny, you have to admit some of your flaws. His family definitely was like, no, but what about you? What about this? So, Johnny, you're not perfect. You are the stereotypical man that comes on this show that thinks he has his shit together. You think because you have a good job and you look okay, you can find whatever girl you want. And I hate to tell you that's not the case. So Bao's at home meal prepping while he's talking shit about her to his family. Next, Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal has a conversation with Bao and Johnny, and Johnny looks sad. Pastor Cal says, "Why do you look so sad?" And this reminded me when Bondi, shout out to Bondi, we were talking about last episode. After the dinner was over, she said Johnny kept walking to the car like this, dragging his head. Y'all know how little kids get upset and they just be dragging their feet, dragging their head. That was very much true because he was sure to put this face on whenever he got on the call with Pastor Cal. So he's like, "Why is he so sad?" And ultimately, he stutters, he hesitates, and he says that he feels like he's married to someone who's not right for him. Johnny is a professional victim. Shout out to KA. That's exactly what he says about Bao, which is funny to me. One and the same. So he calls her out on the gourmet meal that they supposedly made together that she didn't make by herself. And I'm like, what is the big damn meal about this? The big damn deal about this gourmet meal? There is none. I think you're just trying to find a reason to throw in the towel, just like Pastor Cal says. So Pastor Cal says, "Is there someone else?" And this is when they took me out, zooming in on Bao's face. "Is there someone else? Is there someone else?" I was like, "Girl, calm down. Girl, let that man go. You should not care if there's someone else." So, anyway, Pastor Cal essentially during this meetup, I feel like he forces Johnny back into the relationship when so badly I wanted them to allow him to leave. He tried to convince Johnny that Bao was this perfect guy, a perfect woman for him, that she's not a quitter, and he tried to reaffirm Bao of who she was as a person, trying to convince Johnny of who Bao was and why they should be together. And I was kind of like, Pastor Kyle, let that man go. Bao, let that man go, please. Okay. For those of you who are watching this in the playback, go ahead, drop that mango emoji in the comments. Let that man go. So now, y'all, it is time for them to go to bed. Johnny regrets saying some things. They both agree that there's just a misunderstanding of effort, and Johnny just wants a commitment of them doing things together, going on dates. Johnny, you know that's not the real issue at hand. This shit really is not gonna last long at all. Okay, let it go, Bao, please. So yeah, I hate that Pastor Cal had pushed him back into the corner of thinking that everything was going to go perfectly fine. Shout out to y'all with the mangoes. Now, the other thing, y'all, I watched the previews for for next week. And Johnny says one of the most hurtful things. He basically told her, "If I wasn't attracted to you 15 years ago, or I had however long to date you and I never did, why do you think I'm doing it now?" I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Because not only do you come on the show thinking that you could potentially get played by a stranger, but for you to get played by a essentially fuck boy from your past and basically tell you, "I know you trying hard, but if I didn't want you then, why you think I'm gonna want you now?" I was like, wow, you know how badly she wants this to work. This is my thing. Men, when you come on this show, rip the band-aid off. Rip it off, okay? Look like an asshole. Be honest. Thank you so much. Be honest. And you will save people so much time, so much heartbreak. You would save me a couple minutes in these reviews. I love talking to y'all, but we wouldn't even have to talk about Johnny's ass. Rip the band-aid off. I hate these dudes coming on the show teetering, afraid to look like an asshole, afraid to stay in something that they don't really want to stay in. Do her a favor so she can move on. So, y'all, that's literally all I have for this episode. I said episode. Might as well, y'all. Look at the time. We've been in here for 55 minutes. Y'all know I used to do these little cute 17-minute reviews, 20-minute reviews, but I love talking to y'all on live. So these things go on, for half the time of the show. But in my opinion, y'all in the comment section are way more entertaining than watching this show. So, y'all, that's all I have for today. As always, y'all, every single Thursday, y'all can catch me on the Ooh Ladies First panel tonight at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tonight, we are going to be on Jamie That's Me's channel. If y'all need the link to that, I will post it on my community wall. And again, y'all, we are almost at 8,000, so be sure to subscribe. My goal is 10,000, but we need to see 8,000 first. And of course, for those of y'all who are not a member of hashtag Necey, go ahead and join y'all. Yeah, as always, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all's support, and I will see y'all this weekend for Love and Marriage Huntsville. And with that being said, y'all have a good night. Bye.